Hi, so excited to be here. So may I introduce again Graham Barra, then we have Oficinas TK and Numan Khan. So it's super exciting to meet you in person because we've been in touch on Twitter and I've seen you around the space. And Oficinas, you have been like one of the first ever crypto artists from Portugal. So that's really, really cool.
I thank you for this compliment, but I'm not one of the first, but certainly one of the early adopters. And I think I'm also the first in Portugal. That's, yeah, for sure.
First in Portugal.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
how did you get into NFTs?
How did I get here? Well, it's actually a convoluted route because I came to Ethereum because of the Golem project, Golem project, the supercomputer. Because I was looking into distributed computation, that kind of projects, and I came across Golem, I came across Ethereum, and then I came across CryptoKitties. And I instantly realized the potential of NFTs. I was looking for this as an artist. I was exploring new means of distribution, and the royalties issues is a really important matter to me as an artist. And I saw this as the perfect vehicle to implement these rules automatically on one side, but also as the pure digitally native medium for people working in digital art. Of course, NFTs don't exclude physical artists, but for me, at least, they are the perfect vehicle for digital artists because, our art is made of bytes. We display them on digital screens. They look better this way. And NFTs provided a whole beautiful structure so we could display, sell, resell, and all of that. So this is how I got into Ethereum. Early in 2018, I joined Non-Origin. Hi guys. And a few months later, I joined Super Rare. Back then, I joined Portion as well. And rest is history. Things got going,
And Mintbase, of course.
and Mintbase. Now, I hopefully will be minting stuff on Near Protocol, and will certainly be on Mintbase. I've already done some work on Paras, but I'll be minting sure on Mintbase as well. Let's talk with Numan as well.
Yeah,
So, how did you got here?
I by mistake fell into it. Like I didn't have anything to do with crypto, nothing crypto related before Feb. Literally seen a post on Instagram, and I seen a rap group in the UK selling something as an NFT. Looked up on Twitter what is an NFT, find out what's going on, listed something a minute later, sold. For a few couple of weeks, like it's just gone on. Still getting my head around things, not understanding what is happening here. And just understood the community and figured out it's a community-based thing. For example, I didn't know until later on down the line, known origins basically down the road from my house. I didn't know that at all. Um, and for me, it was one of them things where I kind of understood it and thought a digital asset, like I understand this, like it's the way forward. This is exactly what's going to happen. Yeah.
And you also have some pieces upstairs exhibited.
Yeah.
And so do you connect the digital to the physical piece? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So with what I'm doing at the moment, at first I started doing collectibles, in February, March, and then it got to a point where there were quite a few, 10,000 PFP projects just popping up every single day. And for me, it was one of them things where I need to give collectors more value for what they're paying. So the way I work is I'll do a digital drop-off collectible and give away a free physical, absolutely at no cost. And with the piece I've got upstairs, the whole idea behind it is that it's based heavily on a new era. Like it's all the old traditional shit is done. Like it's time to move on now. We're using cryptocurrency. This is how it's going to work from now on, moving forward. And with that piece, so the NFTs live on Foundation. The NFTs live. Once someone purchases the NFT, whether they're here or abroad, I will then ship out the physical to them free of charge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
very rare because mostly it's always digital. So Graham Barra,
I
sorry.
think I'm next, am I?
Yeah, sorry for
Uh-oh.
the pronunciation.
No, you got it perfect.
So I visited the gallery earlier, like upstairs.
We had a nice chat this
We had
morning.
a nice chat this morning. So it's really fascinating what you do around NFTs and drugs or like decriminalizing
NFTs and drugs.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit more about your works and how it like comes together.
Thanks, Carolin, for sharing this, and yeah, thanks everyone for listening in. I know there's a lot of things going on right now. Yeah, so I'm a human rights activist or campaigner for over a decade, and there's an issue that's steeped in my heart, which is drug legalization, and to understand this from a framework of human rights. So coming at the NFTs, I saw the potential for protest NFTs, for the idea for someone, well, if they're going to put themselves out there, whether it's an artist, and I think artists and activists have a lot in common because they put themselves out there. They put their soul, they put their emotion in their work, and it often goes without any sort of credit or any sort of reimbursement for their time. So we think of key figures through history. You know, there's like key speeches that everybody knows almost off by heart. I have a dream. Well, imagine if people could own an NFT of a contemporary activist or campaigner, which could then be used to fund a movement. And I think that's the power of NFTs in the future for me, is that it could be used to fund social good and have a social impact on the world.
And giving something back, right? That's yeah.
Yeah, giving something back, and giving something back can be either through, you know, the donation, so that could be like used as a split contract, like Numan and myself are doing the split contract right now on the foundation protocol.
Yeah, we are, yeah.
And you know, so 50% is going to the artist, 50% is going to a cause or a movement or an organization. You know, there's no fee here. LisCon isn't taking any like cut. There's no middleman really involved. So that's one way. Of course, your action, you know, your action or your art can also be, you know, the thing that's giving back. So whether that's, you know, a powerful movement, or, you know, I often wonder, like, if Occupy Wall Street was to happen today, like, would they be involved in crypto and NFTs and DeFi? I don't know. That's like it's kind of not really a question, but maybe for today we can start thinking like this, and that's the power of cryptocurrency to me.
And what do you think? Where will NFTs be in 5 years from now? Are they moving more towards like the social component, or like utility NFTs, or where do you see the future heading?
Well, for me, I'm very interested in the provenance of things that we consume. So when I think of drugs and the exhibition that I have upstairs and that I opened here in Lisbon on the 19th of April to mark Bicycle Day, it's been 50 years since the war on drugs was beginning in 1971 by Richard Nixon. It was, funny enough, the same year that the gold standard ended, but that's just a coincidence. For me, like, putting those substances up on a wall that I purchased here in Lisbon on the streets, it became very obvious through that documentation that these were not real. You know, they sell heroin, cocaine, hashish. None of this is actually the substance that the consumer wants to purchase. So the idea of introducing a provenance protocol on top of a blockchain using something like an NFT that would track using a standard of operating procedures from the beginning, that a substance, it can be food, it can be coffee that we drink that we have in the giveaway bag. How do we know that something is fair trade when that's actually just a brand that Henry Nestle came out with? We do not need to trust brands anymore. We just need to trust the chain. And if it's not on chain, in my opinion, it's just bullshit.
So that leads me to the next question. What do you think about different chains other than Ethereum? Because I know you guys are mostly like Ethereum focused, right?
Bitcoin.
And Bitcoin. Oh, sorry. No. But Mintbase, for example, we also started on Ethereum, and the gas fee became, you know, like super crazy last year. So we rebuilt everything on the Near protocol, which is a blockchain on Rust, and it's a sharded chain, POS, cheap transactions. And we did that because we really want to see those NFTs being used in like the real world. Hence, like redeeming beer NFTs for beer, or wine NFTs in Lisbon at the moment. By the way, if you want a free wine or burrito, come over. Nate is just sitting there. He's giving out burrito and beer NFTs. But anyway, sorry. So yeah, what do you think about other chains? Have you tried other chains? Like, what would you recommend new people joining the space?
First of all, I think my core belief is in blockchain. I came to Ethereum because Ethereum developed smart contracts and made NFTs possible. I didn't came to the blockchain for the finance aspect. I came as an artist, and Ethereum presented a whole new set of tools. That said, right now, I'm also minting on Near protocol through Barra's ID, and also working on Tesla's blockchain. And I firmly believe that part of the future of NFTs goes through interoperability. Um, Either oracles aggregating data and making it easier to share the info, or bridges and L2 solutions, whatever it takes, so we can all talk together. Because I think right now, and especially after 2020, it became really obvious that NFT is a force to be reckoned with. It's a really powerful tool. It started out, and it's still starting out. It's still. I know I've been talking with a few artists mostly, and sometimes they feel they missed the train or something, that they're too late. But we're just really starting, and we're just now setting the basic stones for foundations. So I think the future will be interoperability. The future of NFTs can be whatever we decide it to be. Because I think right now we made a point, we proved that the technology works, is useful. Um, there's the beauty of transparency and the chain of verification. And this is a really important aspect um, for me as an artist, of course, but I think for everyone involved in NFTs, this transparency and the chain of verification is really important. And as Graham was saying, you can apply this to whichever product you choose. Um, so right now, I think the future of NFTs is bright. You know, I don't know what they'll look like. I wouldn't imagine it to be here in 2019. I would never imagine that NFTs would grow so fast, so exponentially, so, so global, like a wildfire in the plain. But it happened. And now we're bringing more people into the space, more NFT creators of all sorts. And now we've been seeing a boom in collectibles. But it will, normalize, and it will be available and accessible to whatever product you choose, I think. I really believe it.
Um, Personally, for me, I think at the moment what we see is art. An NFT does not have to be art. People don't understand non-fungible token. It could be anything. At what point is when music comes in, events is happening at the moment with POAPs. You know, it's going to get to a point where physical tickets are, they're extinct. It's going to be literal digital assets you're getting instead of a physical ticket to go to an event. So once fashion gets involved, music, all of that kind of shit, that's when, at the moment it's like 10% only being touched because it's just art that we're seeing. There's still 90% which is still, left. And for me, again, slowly, this is what eventually going to happen in the next year or so. I feel like there's going to be music concerts you're going to be going to. You're getting an NFT instead of a actual physical ticket you're buying. And yeah, that's what is going to happen in terms of different blockchains. Again, I'm on Tezos as well. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really a fan of it, but I've had a lot of problems. But everyone's gonna be. It's just a race to see who's gonna be the most efficient and best platform. That's all it is. It's literally a race. That's all it is. Yeah.
So NFTs on different chains are the future. They're eating the world. But yeah, it's one day at a time, and it's happening fast. Graham?
Yes. Well, certainly when an artist or a collector comes to, make a purchase and make a use of an NFT, yeah, like they probably won't be fully like immersed in the tech side as much as everybody here is. And as Numan says, we are only about 10%. Maybe even that's a stretch. I'd say probably even 1 or 2%. Probably it's like a dribble compared to this. What this tap can unleash. And I'm just excited to be kind of part of it, But for me, it kind of goes back to basics. We see a lot being built on Bitcoin and Bitcoin Liquid, a sidechain, and Bitcoin Lightning Network. For me, any chain that can prove that is both a store of value and that store of value has to be something strong, so something new needs to prove itself for a decade or more, in my opinion, before it can really be like have that kind of like malleability or kind of strength. But I think it's very certainly interesting that we're going to be going through a lot of use cases and skipping a lot of the, it doesn't have to be Bitcoin security. It doesn't have to have like the community of Ethereum. It doesn't have to be that big. So we could easily see some new chains like in the space, and it's very exciting, I think, to be part of that. And who knows? Like again, like Oficinas says, like we really have no idea what tomorrow brings. Like nothing. So to make an absolute position now would just be, it wouldn't be prudent.
Yeah.
And even for example, Theo, who was on earlier, he was talking about Bunchy, like, using NFTs as collateral to take out a loan. Like, you're literally using a JPEG as a loan, like collateral for a loan. This is how insane this shit is. Like, it's just mental.
Okay, so I think we need to wrap up this conversation. You guys, I have a last question for you. So for people joining the space and wanting to get into NFTs as creatives, it's kind of a hurdle at the beginning. And I know you guys already have strong communities, but what would you recommend new people in like a few sentences? Like where to start? I want to sell my my NFTs or my songs or my art. What would you recommend new people in the space?
Well, there's a lot to begin with. And people coming to the NFT space will find technical hurdles, mostly, I think, getting a wallet and getting that over that specific hurdles. So my honest advice is do research. Take your time to read, check the platforms, check the places like OpenSea, see what they're doing, because all of these, at least the major platforms, they have facts and they go through the basic steps. So my honest advice is take it easy. I know there's a lot of excitement with NFTs now that everybody wants to be a part of it, but I'm also having this feeling that a lot of people in being involved in the space now really are missing some important steps in security terms and the specifics, the technical specifics of what it means to work on blockchains. But so I advise them to, tread lightly, get your bearings, understand the technology. You don't have to understand solidity, but you have to understand what a blockchain is and how it works. Not only to be safe, but also to fully realize what you can do with it. You have to understand the mechanics. So how can you use them? Because everybody can make an NFT now, but does it have to be an NFT to start with? So this seems obvious to many of us doing NFTs for years, but a lot of people now are doing NFTs and you know, they want to be a part of it, but they don't quite understand it. So take your time to understand it. Take your time. Check the platforms. Check, there's dozens of interesting projects, dozens of interesting protocols, side chains, whatever. It's a huge, complex world, but if you take a couple of weeks to read it, you'll be, more comfortable with it. So my advice is chill, guys. Take it easy. Read some stuff.
My advice would be community. Get involved in conversations with people. Attend events like this, you know, and community. Have conversations. Buy art. Don't just think because you might have a certain amount of followers, think you're going to sell immediately. It's not going to happen. Like, you need to be having conversations with people. You need to, like me, I reached out to Graham, when was it, last week or 2 weeks ago, just saying this is what I've been doing, and now I'm here talking on the panel. Like, you need to be having conversations with people, attending a lot of events, and again, buying art. Like, you can't just take everything out and not put back in. That's not how the community works. You see a lot of celebrities with millions of followers doing PFP projects or, thinking they're going to sell. It doesn't happen. Like, the community is very community based. This whole thing, everyone's very helpful, friendly. Like, you can have a conversation with anyone. So my approach is, except the tech side of things, just get involved in community and, go to events and go out there and meet people.
I think for me it's three things. Three things, which is to sum up. I think it's kind of already been said. Education. I think that's like the most important. Andreas Antonopoulos is understanding Bitcoin and understanding Ethereum and now understanding Lightning Network. I think that's like probably where it starts conceptually. A couple of weeks, like I mean, I know I'm almost 10 years and I'm still like learning like the fundamentals of cryptography. We are still learning. And once you begin to think differently, I think then the second thing is understand that you're not selling for dollars or euro or fiat. You're selling for the future of internet money, whether that's Ethereum or Near or whether that's Bitcoin or whatever. Don't think of it in dollar terms and don't think of it that you need to sell this. Once you understand through your education, you've read Andreas Antonopoulos, now you understand this is digital gold or it's internet money, you need to keep this, not for you, but for your children's children, because it's going to be mine for the next 100 years or so. It's not our lifetime that we'll see the benefit of Bitcoin. It's still very unequal right now. And the third thing, which actually I learned from Numan, which I thought was really nice, is give back. So when you make some sales, well, this new internet money, who will benefit from this new internet money? Other artists, any charities that's accepting it. There's very few right now, 1 or 2% maybe in the world, but understand that it's up to you now to become philanthropic and allow new people in.
Just actually, for people interested in donating to charities with crypto, you should check the Giving Block. The Giving Block aggregates a few dozen charities all over the world, since from human and social causes to wildlife preservation and all of that. So and this is the thing that Graham said. Sorry, I'm extending a bit, but this last bit Graham said, giving back. This is a really important aspect because there's a lot of talk about community, and it's mostly bullshit. It's not community, it's bullshit. It's marketing strategy. So you get Twitter engagement, so you get more followers and all of that. But as an artist who started in 2018, I can tell you it was all about community. We had close relations with the platforms we work. We have close relations with the artists. We all know each other, and it's not because it's a small world. It's because we care and we want to get involved with each other. And we all, or at least most of the artists I know from back then, they all have collections. They all bought a lot of art from other artists. They were all involved in donating a lot of money to a lot of interesting projects or supporting emerging projects and all of that. So giving back, I think it's the fundamental advice. Maybe be good, be good, be good to each other. It's so simple as that.
Yeah, and like peer-to-peer as much as possible. If you're going to give directly to an artist or directly to someone or do something locally in your community, it's even better than charity. It's even better. But yeah, a lot of options there, I think. Pleasure.
Wow, super nice. Thank you so much. So please check out the exhibition upstairs. If you have more questions for those three, reach out to them on Twitter or just here in person, I guess.
Any questions? Yeah, you know all the answers. Yeah, you know it already. You don't need us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carolin. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.